the same kind of money in developing our infrastructure, our healthcare system, and whatever, you know, physical benefits. They don't. So if you look at AGOA, for example, can you say it has transformed any region in Kenya? You know, there's AGOA, there's always shifting of goals. Okay, shifting of goals. When you're going to achieve, then they say, okay, there's a new set of rules, AGOA, you know. If you want to bring horticulture, these are the new standards, the new EU standards, you know, to take the conversation out to the West in general. So I think what we as Kenyans, as the symbol of Africa, must decide is what do we want, you know, because we cannot continue to be beggars, and beggars have no choice, okay? So whoever comes in, actually we are irrelevant. It is just that now they cannot tell us, you know, because they need us for their own interests. Because unless something is of particular interest to the US, they will not put so much trouble in it, okay? And I said as far, apart from the firefighting. So I think it's for us to start demanding some form of equal treatment when it comes to negotiations. So I don't know how our leadership can do that, but there's a way that we can get concessions from the US. So we tell them, if you want to have, for example, a military base in Kenya, it's not for free. We should be able to get real value you know, from them. I was looking at Ireland for just the other day. Ireland now have a budget surplus of I don't know how many billions of dollars. And I was looking at why they have that is because they find Google, I don't know how much money, you know, and all that. They get money from people who owe them money. So they got it from them, okay? If you look at Russia, has also found Google, I don't know how many zillions. So I think it must come to a point where we have leaders in Kenya and in Africa. I think I like to say Africa because Kenya to the US is really very small, you know, and that is why sometimes they will laugh at us if we start talking about, you know, flexing our muscles in terms of what kind of trade relations we can have with them. Because just go and look at how much we trade with America, and look at even how a country like China, for example, trades with America. For us, what the trade with Kenya and the US is pocket money, okay? It's pocket change. When you look at, you know, the big boys, you know, even the US and Britain, the US and France and all that. So we are really small fry. So we must look at our niche. We must stop overrating ourselves, sit down and have a sober discussion about how we can get hold of these guys. Because for me, I'm sorry, but we are irrelevant in the bigger scheme of things. So, yes.
Well, you know, the truth is that Kenya's economy is smaller in magnitude than Elon Musk's value. As in this,
that's the point.
That's a reality. Yeah. Okay. Elon Musk is trending towards 200 billion of valuation. Kenya is at 110 billion. So he can buy us, our mothers, our children, our land and our chickens, and the United States economy will not change. So that's really how it is. However, Kenya is strategically important. One, it is the entry point to East Africa. And East Africa is a big part of Africa. Number two, Kenya is known as the big brother and the peacemaker in the region. When Ethiopia wants negotiators, they come from Kenya. South Sudan, they come from Kenya. We saw one of the leaders of the fight between Hemedti was in Nairobi, seeking solutions from Nairobi. So in terms of the geopolitical influence and as a gateway to Eastern Africa, Nairobi and Kenya is very critical. It's very important. It's not something that the United States can ignore. But also one of the things that is very important is that Kenya's ability to stand with the United States, stand with our allies in Europe, for example, as we've done in the EU and many other issues, is also very important. So it's a matter of leveraging our soft power versus the economic power to make that possible. But also at the same time, and this also becomes very important, you see that the United States, for example, is giving a ban to TikTok. Now, it's no small matter for one country to ban another's software. It's digital warfare, and soon Kenya will be caught up in that warfare, in the sense that will we be looking east or will we be looking west? There is the question of how much will Kenya be depending on the United States. So whereas the economic matters may not seem significant, the position and posture of Kenya throughout the history of its independence has become quite important for the states and other players that want to play.